It's a beautiful day. What a glorious day for a completely unnecessary podcast. Super Show for May 21st, 2024. That's Ian Ferguson.
That's Pat Country.
I'm a year older since the last podcast and a license shorter. And you can hear all about how I failed my written DMV renewal test. Go to patreon.com/CU podcast. It's entertaining but painful.
I forgot that is technically the result of this is you don't have a license.
I have a temp license.
Yeah,
I have a fucking paper license that the nice Asian lady printed out for me and looked at me with shame before I left. You feel shame when... Anyway, I have a whole story about what happened there. But anyway, on the show today... we have what we got. We got a new NBA Jam style arcade game. More game studio closures. What a shock. Super Famicom prototype. Nintendo World Championships game. What is happening? And then also we have Q-Tip Gate, which we'll get to later. Hey everyone, Pat here during the intro. Sorry to interrupt, but we have late breaking news about Atari acquiring Intellivision. So stick around later and we'll be addressing that news as well. So Ian, how was your weekend? You play some pinball, I heard?
I did. My weekend was pretty good. I went to the Golden State Pinball Festival. It's held in Lodi, California. I always think it's Lodi, but it's Lodi.
That's way up there, right?
Yeah, it's about an hour outside Sacramento.
That's like Golden State Killer area, haunting grounds, stomping grounds, like that whole area. Like Hemet.
Oh yeah, Hemet.
Is it Hemet up there?
Vonnie said no. Hemet's close to us.
Okay. I'll look up the Golden State Killer, but that's like one of the towns that I think he was in there.
Vonnie has done a lot time in Hemet before. She thinks it smells like.
She did time. She went to prison.
She did time.
She did time.
Yeah, she had family there. She made it. She made it sound like it wasn't great.
She did time.
She did time. So, anyways, I went up there with my friend Skylar, and So it's a 3-day festival. You get there on Friday. Pinball halls open at 1, close at 11 on Friday. They're open from, I think, like 9 until midnight on Saturday. And then I think it's 10 to 6 on Sunday.
Okay.
$60 gets you a pass for the entire weekend. It's a lot of pinball. There was 350 machines this year, including a lot of the new ones. The ones that are more limited or more expensive. God damn it.
You should have said exclusive.
I did it so early. And we always get a campsite on the property. We more use it as tailgating. We usually stay at a motel because it's way more comfortable. But yeah, we cook a bunch of food. We play games, and it's just real laid back. So I got to try... there's a bunch of new machines out. I got to try Looney Tunes by Spooky Pinball.
Oh.
So Looney Tunes is... Remember when they did Ultraman and Halloween?
Yes, and they're two different... a reskin.
That's the same thing that's going on now. It's a one machine that they are doing Looney Tunes and Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Wow, totally different...
Yeah, well, I mean, same with Ultraman and Halloween. You know, you go from it and what it is clearly it's family friendly license and then horror.
Yeah, it makes sense when you think about it because then your production costs R&D is so much less.
It drives me nuts.
It's not a bad idea.
It drove me nuts the last time because I love both Halloween and Ultraman, but then the table I didn't like it anyway, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, Looney Tunes machine. The theme was really well done. It was very well done.
It's like classic
throughout. It looks a little more modern, but it's classic style, a little bit more modern. But it uses all of the modes are classic Looney Tunes moments. So there's when Porky and Sylvester go to the haunted house. There's Duck Dodgers. There's the one where Daffy plays Robin Hood.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
There's all sorts of modes. The first night I played it, I loved it. The second time I played it, I was a little less sold on it. And the third time I played it, I liked it as much as I did the second time. It's a packed playfield. The shots are nice, but it's a little clunky. Mm-hmm. But I like it definitely more than Halloween and Ultraman, and more than a lot of the spooky tables I've played. I played Queen. I specifically waited for that one because that one had a little bit of a line.
Damn right. Uh-oh.
It's Pinball Brothers. Pinball Brothers did Alien, and as try as I might, I don't like Alien. I just don't.
I don't think I ever played Alien.
It's a wide body that doesn't feel like it has a lot of flow, and unfortunately, Queen kind of suffers from the same things. I didn't think it suffered from it as bad. Some of the shots are clearer. It's not as ugly as I thought it was when I first saw the pictures.
I'm looking at the playlist.
And the rules for at least the little bit I was able to kind of gather seemed okay.
Why's my spacebar not working? That's fucking weird.
But I just I didn't really like the layout. I played Elton John, which was impressive. That's Jersey Jack. I don't love or hate Elton John, but Jersey Jack
That's
is
good to know.
It's an impressive machine to look at. The light show and all the things they do with micro LEDs on that field, it's nuts. I mean, it's crazy to see. The machine plays like Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's a good table. So, and then I'm trying to think. I did not wait in line for John Wick because the line was like 6 groups deep all day.
Jesus.
And John Wick will be local very soon. And then lastly, Labyrinth. Labyrinth was amazing.
The movie Labyrinth?
I wish I had money to go buy
They
Labyrinth.
did a new wow.
If
Okay.
if I had $10,500 lying around, I would buy Labyrinth.
That's like your Big Lebowski.
No, I mean,
You're not gonna be that
actually,
big of a
as a
fan?
movie, you know, I probably had I like Labyrinth a lot.
I've actually never seen it.
Oh, it's great. I like Labyrinth a lot, but it's never. I wouldn't consider myself a super fan, but it's a theme that I feel more attached to than a lot of the themes that come out lately
Sure.
that are nostalgia based, because I like the Muppets and I like David Bowie. So that one was great, and the playfield was fun, and there's little, like, they have like little mechanisms underneath like the apron where like little characters pop out to laugh at you when your ball drains and
That's
shit.
pretty cute.
And it was, oh, I loved it so much. It was great. So anyways, that was my weekend. It was a good time.
The town I was thinking of, not Hemet, Visalia. That was one of his stomping grounds.
Got it.
That whole Northern California area.
Oh, and I do want to say one more thing real quick that made my weekend okay.
Yep.
And you'll be excited about this. 7 hours ago, Sean Baby announced that Calculords is available to play again for free on itch.io. You can go to richjoslin.itch.io/Calculords.
Was it not on the store for a long time?
They ripped it off the store like 6 years ago.
Oh shit! I haven't played the game in probably. No, I played it sooner than that, but I guess I never updated. It was I don't know if it's on have I on my phone still. I don't, because I got a new phone the past couple years from Alex.
Yeah, so you don't have it on there anymore, but it's available for free.
Why did it come down? Was it like a disagreement with the guy that ran it?
No. I mean, because Sean Baby just announced it and pointed people to
but it was
the
always,
developers.
It was always free though. It was just you can buy you can buy the bonus card packs and stuff.
Oh, so. Right. No, it's on itch.io.
My pal Sean, man. I haven't talked to Sean Baby in a couple of years.
But I love that game, and
it's fun.
I was just thinking about like 6 months ago, and I asked online, like, where was it? And my buddy Mark, who lives up in Portland, who knows him, tried to explain it to me, and he just let me know before this started that it got released.
That's a shame. I had a lot of nice rare cards. I played the game. That was like my go-to mobile game for years at one point. We're talking like several years ago.
It's an incredible game.
I'm telling you, and I had a really... if there was multiplayer, that would have been sick. If there was a multiplayer version.
I agree.
I think they tried to kickstart a sequel and never went anywhere. I think that was going to have multiplayer. That's the last I think I heard of it.
Gotcha.
When I last talked to Sean Bay about it several years ago. I don't know if I remember if I told you, I was on their 1-800 Hot Dog podcast. We talked about the whole Miko saga a couple years ago. That was like the last time I talked to Sean Baby. Good dude. What did I do this weekend, you might ask?
I might.
You say you bite?
I said I might.
Oh.
What did you do this weekend?
Oh, I was cleaning up shit for the book. We are in the proofing process right now, which means like it's getting close. It's getting close, but still stuff that I'm doing at midnight on a Sunday night, because I won't say why, but I want to. There's a lot can go on. A lot of ins, lots of outs, but we're getting there. I'm actually excited to once it's going to print, I will announce the 2 things. Sorry, there's 3 things in the book that not announced on the Kickstarter or anywhere else that I'll announce then. He knows of a couple of them, I think. And that was all 3. So that's cool. What else is happening? Oh, we got breaking news. I missed I missed the 10-10 win song back east. IGN has acquired the Gamer Network. That's a real name, which consists of Eurogamer, which we used to love reporting from their stuff because they were a good journalistic news gaming website. Rock Paper Shotgun, GamesIndustry.biz, which was sort of the dumping grounds for press releases that we referenced before, and other sites. And Making Redundancies, that's literally from the press release from Games Industry.biz. I don't like this. I don't like it at all. I don't think there's enough variety anymore of game news sites where you can take a combine.
It's been a wasteland for like years, and now it's just gotten worse.
But now, like you can, it's almost like Disney buying up all the viable IPs, where it's like if you trust for them to do good with it, it still sucks that it's all under one umbrella. Like even if they were going to do good, it's scary to have IGN having Eurogamer, having Rock Paper Shotgun. I don't even know about what's VG247. I'm familiar with that one. And of course, people are going to lose their jobs. So I look at this just on the surface as, to me, if you had put a gun in my head, this is what happened. IGN is probably doing worse and worse. And you're like, well, what's the best way to make profit? We'll buy some companies that are doing okay, and we'll just fire people to make sure we have profits and make our money back. Like that's what's happening here, probably.
Well, I mean, and this what you described was best case scenario. If you trust the company to do right by it, well, it still sucks that they have all of it. I don't trust IGN to fucking do anything right. Not a thing. I mean, IGN hasn't been a quality video game website in, well, maybe ever, but I mean, at least a decade. I mean, it became the USA Today of video.
USA, that bad?
It became the USA Today of video game news.
Just the most generic.
It's the most generic, news site you can.
Most common denominator stuff you want to hear about with your 9 out of 10.
Exactly. And I'm not trying to take shots at any writers or anyone who worked there or, got bylines there because, hey, if you're a writer, you take what you can.
They're not breaking.
But IGN itself was never. I forget it exists until I see something like this.
Because it was never really investigative. It never really got to the more to the down and dirty business side. It was more like, hey, like people say 6 out of 10, too much water, or now it's more general entertainment IGN. Now it's like they do everything for the past years.
I mean, they really kind of diluted the way video games journalism was done for a while there. I mean, that's where the joke comes from. 7 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 7 out of 10. So, I don't trust them. And it's awful that people are losing these jobs. And at this point, it's like, I get this feeling of slime when I participate in the video game industry at this point.
You get a feeling of slime?
Like I almost feel slimy. Like you want to support the people that have the jobs, but the industry is so, at least the AAA upper level industry is so gross with how it's doing. I don't want to put money in their pockets. You want them to, you want to send a message that this isn't fucking working. So you don't want to support it, but then you make it worse for everyone else who still has their jobs. And it's just this, I don't know, what do you do? I mean, how do you make it, how do you say something? Without making the problem worse at this point? I don't know. I just play indie games at this point. I try to buy games where the majority of the money goes to the people who made it.
I feel like you're jumping topics because we'll get to game studio closures update in a bit.
But I mean, it's all part of the same parcel to me.
Sure, but the news website problem is a different problem than what the games industry has been going through the past 4 years, overbuying and
sure, but but that's it. I mean but it's the same sort of issue, just slightly. I mean, it's overbuying. It's buying shit up and closing it down.
Well, yeah, but this is an instance of IGN probably doing worse and worse business, and like, well, how do we stay afloat? We have to buy other businesses that are still successful and gut them. Like that's what's happening here.
Okay,
like it's like I don't think 10 years from now is going to be an IGN. I think I can probably say that.
I wouldn't argue you on it.
Like IGN's like one of the last remnants of a dying breed that's been around since the 90s. I think IGN started like the late 90s or so, mid to late 90s. IGN started.
IGN. So this is what
90s.
I remember. Like it went from PSM Magazine to PSM Magazine Online, and then PSM Magazine turned into IGN. I think
is that what happened?
Yeah, I think. I'm not sure there, but that's how I ended up finding it. It was kind of like a continuation, I think, of the print magazines from one company.
Which was a smart move at the time. Absolutely. Yeah. But now it's like, well, you have so many influencers that comment on news and do podcasts. And so like there's less and less incentive for a straight up gaming news website to do a review, for example, because you're going to hear a billion reviews from people on YouTube and on Twitter. People will do reviews instantly. So like, is there like a need for these quote unquote more academic IGN reviews of these new games anymore? Like I look at that, like why are they, especially with the turnover, like why is an IGN writer any more or less qualified to write a review about a game than anyone else at this point? These aren't people that are embedded in the industry. You know what I mean? These aren't Jeff Gerstmans anymore. Like these are people that are probably either fresh out of college or baby fetch phrase that can work cheaper. I'm not putting them down, but that's the truth. What happens? That's how you build up. You rebuild these squads of folks. Like, are they even as qualified to work on this stuff versus 20 years ago, 15? I don't know. It's a totally different industry.
But I wish I could have back. See, I don't want anyone to speak to me, so I don't want to watch YouTube reviews. I miss.
You're speaking to everyone right now, though.
No,
I don't want to speak to you.
No, I hate video. I hate video. I would rather read. What I miss is the EGM style four person review.
Oh, okay.
And we're just not in a position where I think any place could ever pay for that.
Is there any magazine still doing that style anymore?
I don't think any place does, because if they did, and I respected the writers even a little, I would read that. But I miss the multiple takes. I don't want one take from the same person every fucking time.
Well, there's also gaming podcasts where like 4 or 5 people give their opinion.
I just want to read it while I'm on the shitter.
Okay.
I don't want to watch a video.
IGN, bring back print medium or a web medium so Ian can shit in peace and
thank you
and read about Helldivers 2 controversy.
Controversy.
That is ridiculous. Which Ian doesn't want to talk about.
No, I just don't want to talk about it because I don't have all the info. But basically, what happened was
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Helldivers 2 comes out. Great game. I fucking love it. Sony makes it. There's problems with it at launch, so Sony doesn't require anyone to sign in with a PSN account. It is sold in countries where PSN does not exist. People rejoice. The game is fantastic. And then
12 seconds.
And then what happens is Sony says, hey, at the end of this month, we're going to require a PSN account. They had to pull it from 170 stores. Those people revolted, got their money back. And last I heard, Sony had reversed the decision to require the PSN account.
Wrap it up.
And that's where we're at.
So basically, Sony made a boneheaded decision and didn't realize how people respond to this, especially when you first get a game and then you're changing basically the terms of service in order to play it after the fact by getting another account, which is wrong.
Tons of companies make you do the sign-in thing. Sure. EA, Ubisoft, and it sucks. It sucks. But the biggest issue here is that Sony implemented it after the fact, which basically made the game it made the game unplayable for people all over the world.
And good on Valve through Steam to refund people, even though they played a ton of hours. They said, we're going to give you your money back.
Yeah.
Because that's bullshit. So good on them for doing that. Super Famicom prototype came up for auction on Yahoo. It was fake, bid up to in the millions. I saw our pal Chris Cole reported on it on Twitter and a couple other folks I saw. And it's a Super Famicom. I mean, like, it's cool, but the only big difference is the shiny red power button. Like that's the big difference, which does look kind of ugly when you look at it. Like, it's like, well, yeah, it's better off gray. But otherwise, I'm not a Super Famicom expert, but gun to my head.
Oh God, that looks so wrong.
I know, that's what I mean. Like that. So that's. Yeah, like why do you need it to be red? Would you ever accidentally turn off your Super Famicom while it's playing? Like, that's not a thing that happens. Like, yeah, it just looks.
I mean, granted, if that's all we had seen our entire life, whatever. But that looks, design wise, that just looks extremely out of place.
You know what I think is kind of cool that we got to bring back? which I guess kind of exists, but for a while they got rid of it. Just a little red LED inside when you hit the power buttons. You see it come through the power button. It's cute. The NES did that, and you had, I think, Master System did something like that, and you had
the original model. No, actually, the Model 2 Genesis did it. Yeah.
There was a color that came out when you pressed the power?
Yeah, a little red light.
Confusing that with the Model 1. Anyway, yeah, that's cute. This is kind of weird, but yeah, if you put a gun to my head and if you undid that red button, made it gray, I would not know if that's a prototype. I'm not a Super Famicom expert. I guess the front is kind of weird looking on the front by the controller ports.
The front does look different. Yeah, the front definitely looks weird because it's got that extension bay in the front.
Side has the volume for headphones. We didn't get that in our version. Headphone jack on a Super Nintendo. I didn't know they had that on a Super Famicom. Wow, the Super Famicom is such a better looking device. It has so much more going on.
Than the Super Nintendo? The Super Nintendo is so ugly.
Yeah, I got kind of excited when we saw the multicolor controllers, Nintendo Power. Yeah, I'm like, that looks cool. You got the four primary colors on there, and we get the weird purple tones. I'm like, what is that? What a weird decision.
I'm sure there's someone out there who's done the history on why or what they were going for, but it was, such a downgrade. Even Europe kept the same basic design.
Yes. That's why it didn't make sense. If Europe also changed it, but so now you have what's the point of that?
And if you're trying to, you feel like they might have been, I don't know. Anyways, moving on.
Okay.
Someone's got an article on that. I really want to know why they changed the design.
It was probably they were probably thinking, well, it looks cooler for teenagers, the same way that they redid the TurboGrafx.
Yeah, so let's use some purple and gray.
Gray's the cheapest plastic. We've been through that.
Yes,
that's why it was used for a ton of consoles back then. But anyway, yeah, so I don't know if it's going to come up for auction again. I don't know what to place the value at this at. We go off of the one-of-a-kind that we know of, Sony, the Nintendo PlayStation Sony prototype, fucking Super Nintendo C, whatever we want to call it. That went for what, $275, $300,
which was less than what they expected.
Oh, they said over $1 million,
right? And so if that's what that ended up going for, this isn't even that.
No, this won't hit.
Important.
Plus, it looks just like a Super Famicom for the most part, and we don't know how many of these there are. So, and this, you know what I mean? It's cool. I don't know. I'll say 50 grand. There you go. There you have it.
Yeah, I think it's neat. Of
course it's neat. We have more games studio closures, and at this point, it's like, when we're going to hit rock bottom with this, I have no idea. I have no clue, and
it's genuinely making me sick to my stomach.
I hope everyone out there, when they are so happy that Microsoft acquires, new studios and say, oh, they're going to win the war. This is what happens. They got to make that money back or cut costs somehow. When you make a tens of $billion purchase, chickens are going to come home to roost. And unfortunately, this is what's happening, where it's like they're going to be bean counting every fucking release probably from now until the end of time now, from every medium and smaller studio they bought up the past years. But that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so you want to talk about the closures of those Tango Gameworks and Arcane Austin?
So Tango Gameworks closed, and I'll get into, I'm kind of saving all of my points for when we talk about the speech. Because I kind of want to tie it all in there. But Tango Gameworks made Hi-Fi Rush, which I still haven't played yet, and I need to. Honestly, maybe I'll do it this weekend. It's a music-based action game, and it came out of nowhere, and everyone loved it. It's critically acclaimed. I believe it won some awards. From an award show that means nothing. But the understanding here is this is a genuinely great game. And they closed it. They shuttered the studio, which furthers the whole notion that, is going to get corporations in trouble very soon, that no matter what you do or how successful you are with your project, you are still in danger.
Yes.
And you send that message enough times, and no one is going to care about their job. And you are going to get worse and worse in diminishing returns, because if a good product doesn't save my job, then, you're breaking these people. They're going to just show up these are supposed to be your creatives. and you're trying to turn them into drones, worker drones, and the more you do that, they're going to stop caring. You're not going to get your games like Hi-Fi Rush. You know,
creativity is going to be out the window because now
why work for if I'm going to get the same paycheck and I'm going to get fired at the end anyway, I'm not busting my ass.
Because if from what I read, like, this game was a moderate success, right? So it was a success. It made money.
It was a critical success and I think it was a financial success, not in the terms that it made them a shitload of money, but it's
a success. It's
not,
positive.
It wasn't a loss.
It's a net positive.
Yeah.
But here's the deal when it comes to these big businesses, though, and unfortunately, when you do well, what do they pay for Activision? $68 billion? That's not good enough anymore.
No.
Now everything's got to be a super huge hit. This has to have a long tail. It has to be a game service, so we make money off of you 10 years from now, 5 years from now. This is the reality we're now in. This is what happens when you have all these big companies buying up all these darling smaller devs. You did a great game, good. Fuck you, it's not good enough.
Yeah,
you're going to see a choking of creativity out of the industry.
We already have.
And you're going to see then what's going to happen is this, which has probably already happened, where all these people are going to be fired. Some are going to land on their feet. They're going to open up new studios and continue to do that sort of thing. And it's almost like, what was the point of getting bought off if you're going to fire us? Yes, that's the point. What the fuck is the point? People get paid out, but then you get fired. You have no job stability. So then it's like, it's going to be a weird retraction back to new studios that open up and do their thing on a smaller scale that are successful and they have creativity. While these bigger companies, it's going to be how can we squeeze every fucking drop out of you?
Yes.
How can we Ubisoft every one of these projects? What's the new the thing about the one Ubisoft game coming out? It's going to be like $125 to get a certain version that comes out. That's going to be the new reality.
But honestly, I would prefer that they just announce that shit up front with no DLC. But of course, there'll be DLC. The issue is, you know, and people have been saying this for a while, but the video game industry and industries in general, there's definitely parallels here, especially with the streaming industry. It's not about selling your actual product anymore. It's about selling your stock value. The video game companies are at the point where it does not matter about the games as long as their stock looks good to shareholders, and eventually you're not going to have anything to make you the money anymore. Like, if you can't just fake the value forever. You can cut your company so lean that you no longer have a company, and then you're going to lose the money anyway.
Or have a good product.
But for these CEOs, it doesn't matter because these CEOs are not tied to these companies forever. So they make the money in their time there and then bail out.
What's the game that's 120? Oh, it's I just had it in front of me. Sorry. RimWorld? Is that a game? RimWorld.
It is, but that shouldn't be the
this is $35 for the base game, $20 each for 2 DLCs. So excuse me, $20 for 2 DLCs and then $25 for the other 2 DLCs. $125 total. Is that correct? Like at least the base price is lower.
Oh, yeah, but that's not what I would consider. RimWorld has been out since 2018.
Okay.
It's critically acclaimed. It's overwhelmingly positive, all the reviews regardless. And every time they add something to the game, it adds a ton. This is one of those games like Dwarf Fortress. So, yeah, that's a lot, but you don't... It's...
I saw another game, though, then. I saw something, it was $125 to get a certain version of a new game. Someone in the chat or listening to this is gonna let me know. But I think we're gonna trend more in that direction. That's how much they want to milk out of you over the long history or long tail of the game. $60 is not enough, Ian, anymore. Right. We need 120. We need 150.
Well, yeah, and that's what they need. They want everything to have a long tail. Every game has to be something that can be updated endlessly, or they can charge you a subscription to.
You want to discuss the Sarah Bond interview, which the timing could not have been fucking worse for this interview. This is the Xbox president interview. This is like right after the game studio closures happened.
This is insulting. I mean, she should feel shame about this interview. I mean, it's fucking miserable. And so basically what it comes down to is, here we go. Before getting into it, this is from the article from Metro Co. UK. So the reason why Microsoft shut down is to support studio status, Hi-Fi Rush had a much smaller budget and was more critically acclaimed than a profile like than a title like Starfield, which didn't do very well in terms of reviews, but because it was a Bethesda game, probably sold enough to generate the money. So this is where it comes. They don't care about having a good looking portfolio in terms of like, look at the games we have and how well they did and how much people enjoy them and how critically acclaimed. It's just what brings them in money. And then this brings me to the one quote from her. Here we go. This makes me sick. There's no one size fits all to it for us. And so we look at each studio, each game team, and we look at a whole variety of factors when we're faced with sort of making decisions and trade-offs like that. But it all comes back to our long-term commitment to the games we create. There's no long-term commitment to the games you create if you're trashing the fucking studio. The devices we build, the services, and ensuring that we're setting ourselves up to be able to deliver on those promises.
Doesn't say anything.
Well, it doesn't say anything, but it's also like just flat out false. Yeah. You can't deliver on promises of ensuring that services and games are around if you're constantly, if you have no more studios. And I'm sorry, this was the line I missed that I wanted. You know, one of the things I really love about the games industry, this is the one that got me, is that it's a creative art form. And it means that the situation in what success is for each game and studio is also really unique, which is disgusting. Because what that says is success is for each. So successfully making a game that people like, Hi-Fi Rush, is not success to these business people. Making a game like Starfield that sells under what the projections were and is mostly critically like, I mean, the best I can say is people are like nonplussed about it, is it made enough, even though it didn't sell what it wanted to, it was, people bought it because it was Bethesda. So that game doing work. Yeah,
it's not good, because what you're saying is, well, you can have a successful quirky game that turns a profit, but it's not good enough.
Right.
Even if it's weird, even though it's one of your many studios, it's still turning you a profit. It's not good enough. It's not turning us enough. So
we'd rather keep the diminishing returns, developer around because, hey, we get more money.
Yeah. No. Well, unless you give us a Hi-Fi Rush sequel that's a games as a service, Ian, we're going to close you. Because it doesn't fit our business plans. It's like, that's going to continue to happen, unfortunately.
And real quick, just because I didn't mention everyone and respect where it's due, the closing studios were Arcane Austin, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog Studios, and Roundhouse Games. So I hope as many of them land on their feet as possible.
What's the counter website again that keeps track of this?
I don't even know.
Estimated total so far is 10,000. That's it? I feel like it should be more than that. That's a lot, though. I thought it was more than that, but we're at 10,000, not even halfway through.
No, it's got to be more than 10,000, but whatever. It's bad, and we've already eclipsed last year, which was historically bad.
Yeah, maybe it's in the low 10,000s, and I thought it was worse. Oh, I don't think they updated this totally.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think anyone's updated because they happen so fast.
This has some May ones in it, so maybe maybe I'm missing one, but we're at over 10,000 now. We'll just say that's accurate. 10,100. And we're only at May. So this could be hit 25, 30,000 easily. For a video game market that is still profitable. It's not like these games are taking heavy losses here and there. It's just that they're overspending. Again, they're overspending, and they need it's got to go up to the right. Up to the right. It can't just stay up, which means you're still making a profit. You have to see growth. That's growth is the worst thing you want to hear when you're at a company, because that doesn't necessarily mean things are going to get better. We're going to put out a better product long term. It's just, what can we do this quarter, next quarter? Like, how can we see growth for the stockholders?
Get into this wish casting bullshit.
Anyway, well,
that sucked. That sucked. You know, it doesn't suck. UltimateNintendo.com.
Sure, why not?
There it is. Go. Do it.
You know, you can pre-order a certain N64 guidebook or special edition there. We got RBI baseball stickers. We got CU podcast stickers and enamel pins. My Pixel Pat DVDs out the wazoo. Not for resale Blu-ray at UltimateNintendo.com. I'll be on Twitch every Wednesday. Ian every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
Spinning his tunes. I'm there every Wednesday. spinning the best retro TV commercials of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. That's what I do. The Video Game Hall of Fame, it's a tradition. We talk about this. We usually talk about the nominees, and we always talk about what made it in. This year, the Strong Museum's Video Game Hall of Fame just announced what's going in.
The winners. Unfortunately, we missed the nominees this year.
We always, because that was always something we always talk about. Remember, we always talk about what we predict going in. We always like 75.
No, I have fun
right?
with it every year. I was actually kind of bummed we missed it, and I did notice it before one of the podcasts, and we just forgot.
You're my eyes and ears, Ian.
But yeah, so the winners were announced, and honestly, the games that were picked are ones that I would have kind of assumed were in there already. And I think it's a respectful crop of games.
Well, they only do a certain amount each year, so it's like the NBA or NFL. Like you can get renominated, and they only do a certain amount.
So, I did not know that one was. Okay. Ultima was inducted this year.
Okay, let's go on and talk
trilogy.
Ultima. You're Mr. Ultima from Video Game Years.
No, I don't like Ultima. I know about it, but I've never been able to get into the Ultima games themselves. Okay. They always seem interesting, but they are undoubtedly important in video game history. They were, a lot of people who did enjoy them talk about how they were, the first kind of more immersive role-playing games for computers.
Groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking. More exploration, multiple dungeons, things like that. Prior to that, a lot of dungeon RPGs and dungeon games were dungeon crawlers, like Wizardry, which I love. But, you get one dungeon, you make your party, and you're constantly in and out of that dungeon.
You're constrained.
Until you reach like the lowest floor. Ultima gives you a world. I wouldn't say it's the first one to do it because I don't know, but it was certainly one of the first ones to kind of give you an overworld to explore, something more than a village and a dungeon.
What was the first release? June 81 for Ultima.
Okay, so maybe it was.
But then the version before that, I believe, was 80. What the hell was the one he put out in the local California stores? The one that Akalabeth. I believe that was 80. Well, so that's really where it started with him. Good old Richard Garriott, who single-handedly created that empire. Yeah, what was he, like 18? Like he was a genius.
Yeah,
that's interesting. What's so interesting about that computer game era is that a lot of them, they were super young.
Oh yeah, I mean that blows my mind every
79.
time I go.
It was 79 for Akalabeth.
So does that predate Wizardry?
I'll tell you right now.
Wizardry might have had more advanced graphics on like enemies. No, Wizardry's got to be 79, the original.
Wizardry was 81.
81.
So Ultima makes it in. That's like,
Yeah. SimCity.
Yeah.
How was that? I mean, that's one that I feel like it would have gone in first year.
Simulation game. Like when you think of simulation games, it's that. If you want to count Civilization, like those are the two you think of for like mastering the simulation game. So that makes sense. We all love SimCity.
Resident Evil. Yes. I remember making the case for Resident Evil in one of the previous years.
Yeah, I remember it was nominated, and we said it'll get in eventually.
And yeah, you're right. I mean, so there it is. I was surprised it didn't go in that year, but I'm happy to see it. Missed, obviously. I mean, kind of the first multimedia game when it was called that. One of the first, a CD. It was the game that showed off CD-ROM technology.
That would have been what, 92? Let me see. Let me make sure I have that year right. 91 or 92. 93. Oh, was that late? I thought it was 92. All right. So yeah, that was when the start of CD, like you said, FMV games blowing up, and wow, multimedia, real audio and video games. What?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
So definitely agree with Myst. Honestly, I've never played the game all the way through, and when it got inducted,
we didn't have that. That wasn't in part of any of our bundles.
Have it either.
That wasn't part of our Sound Blaster bundle or CD-ROM bundle.
My best friend growing up had it on his computer, but would get immediately frustrated, so we would go play something else.
Then right after that, you're like seventh guess, and you're off and running, right? Yeah. Around the same time, I believe they're around the same time.
And then Asteroids.
My top 3 or 4 favorite calm down.
I can't stand it.
It's a beautiful game. It's a beautiful AV design.
It is.
Audio visually, it's gorgeous. The sounds in those games are so unique, so well done. that it's hard to think of other games at the time. There were other ones that had similar sort of sound engines in them, but the pops and the very immersive. I'll say this, for an early arcade game, it's one of the more immersive early arcade games.
It definitely commands your attention.
It's almost hypnotic once you really get into it.
I love everything about it except playing it, and I realize that's on me. No, I like, because I agree with you. I love the way it looks. It's got a clean design. The sound is wonderful.
One of those things
when the alien sound hits, I always panic.
Yes.
But I'm and it's most of the time when I am awful at a game, I can still enjoy it because I'm generally bad at games and I play video games. But I think my dislike of Asteroids comes down to the fact that I'm just bad at it. I've always been bad at
controls?
And I don't like it enough to get good at it.
You met the master of the controls. As I got older, as a kid, I would just spin back and forth and shoot. But as you get older, the thrust and moving around is more important.
I like games with thrust too. I like the basic physics behind it. But I guess, you know, if I'm someplace where I can play Asteroids or Pac-Man or Centipede, sure. I'm gonna go Centipede. Like that's
see, I would go to Asteroids first, then go to Centipede later. So we have different preferences for that. But one of those things about the vector games is you really truly can emulate them, because like you'll never get that slight light trail from the movement of like the ships. Like you can't emulate that easily. I'm sure nowadays they can do a trick, but that effect at the time was probably mesmerizing to people to see that.
I'll say this: you can get pretty close to it now, but it's still a wonderful thing to see done for real in person.
Oh yeah,
it's great.
It never gets old. It always looks beautiful. It's a timeless look. What's next here? We have
Chris Pratt believes there could be a Nintendo cinematic universe.
Well, no, we're not done with the games.
Oh,
they joined Barbie fashion designer. That got in. I did not know Barbie. Is that real? Barbie fashion designer got in.
It should. I mean, it was a crazy idea. So
you designed your own outfits?
Yeah, they had a full setup of it last year at Long Island Retro Gaming.
I missed it.
Long Island Retro Gaming is like the convention. You got to go to that convention if you want to see really weird, rare shit that you can actually play and interact with.
Wow.
But yeah, we covered them all. Asteroids, Myst, Resident Evil, SimCity, and Ultima.
They sold 500,000 Barbie fashion designer. Holy shit, this was a smashing success.
It came with like, I believe it came with like stuff to make your own outfits. Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, I had no idea. That one
was really cool.
That fell by the wayside. Well, we do video game years 96. We got to fight for that one. All right. Well, Chris Pratt says what?
There could be a Nintendo cinematic universe.
Now he's Garfield. I got to hear him do Garfield voices.
I don't care about Chris Pratt and what he says, but I will say this: I could see Nintendo doing movies that, well, no, I can't, because the Zelda movie is going to be live action. So Chris Pratt's just talking out of his ass.
I don't see this being viable. I mean, I think it'll be interesting. We're going to get
Smash Brothers. I mean, they would try to make. I get what he's saying in terms of they would try to make movies that have stories like the Smash Brothers movies, but you can only really do that once.
Well, plus it's like, well, then how many fucking solo movies we have to do to bring together even 8 characters? Like, yeah, and some were like, I see a Kirby cartoon. I could see that. Like, are you going to do a Star Fox cartoon movie? No.
Right.
I guess maybe a show somewhere. It would take you a long time to get there. And then let's be honest. Like if you said, here's a Super Smash Brothers movie to the general populace to bring their 4-year-olds, I don't know if that's not gonna sell like just doing a Mario movie, a goofy Mario movie.
Sure. To
see beloved characters fight each other. For most of them, that's kind of fucking weird.
I mean, we
got to temper our expectations of what the casual audience wants. We do. I mean, like that's a pipe dream for people that love Smash Brothers. I don't see that being a viable movie for the general population. I
think it could be down the line. I don't think that would be something that's coming anytime soon.
I don't think it'd be a good movie. First of all, I don't think it'd be fun to watch. We're going to do a fucking Mortal Kombat tournament style movie before they all have to team up at the end.
The storylines for Smash Brothers all have crazy fucking storylines.
Yeah, but you got to have them fight each other to emulate the game. You have to have them just fight each other. Like,
sure. I mean,
you got to build a story out of it.
Well, I don't think that it wouldn't do well. I just don't think there will be a universe, and I don't see it. Nintendo just made the Mario movie.
Yep.
They're fucking 35 years behind. I mean, they've got so much to do before you even think about interlinking them.
Sure.
Plus, the Zelda movie is already said to be live action, not animated. So, yeah, I I don't see any sort of a universe. Maybe in the future you'll see a movie that combines a couple of universes. Maybe you'll get a Zelda Mario movie. Maybe you'll get a Zelda Donkey, or you'll get a Mario Donkey Kong. They'll mix Donkey Kong Country with that, which they already have.
So yeah, I think you'll get cameos.
I think you'll
and
get more of that. You'll get that's what I'm trying to say. Cameos and crossovers, yes. An actual universe, no.
No, because again, like it doesn't. To me, it doesn't fit. Like you're gonna have like the tones don't fit for some of these games. You can force it. You can force Link to hang out with Mario, Donkey Kong, but it really doesn't fit. The tone of the Zelda games is entirely different from it. So yeah, there could be, because that means Chris Pratt will do voices every year for easy pay.
Just voice everyone.
Just voice everyone. It only does 3.
7-Eleven recently came out with a product. So 7-Eleven, people seem to be surprised by this when they see it. But 7-Eleven has been doing video game crossovers.
Promotions.
They recently did a Pac-Man one. I actually have a Pac-Man 7-Eleven shirt. I bought that.
I didn't know that.
And it's Pac-Man running with a Slurpee and a hot dog.
You should have told me. I love my Pac-Man. I did not know about that.
It's a nice shirt too, like the quality of it.
Yeah, just rub it in.
And they did like a couple other shirts and stuff like that. So there was a whole collection. So they are doing a crossover with Tetris, and what they did was they made a handheld Tetris that looks like a Slurpee cup.
It's ridiculous.
And they sold out. They absolutely sold out. So my buddy sent me the link to it, and I hovered over it for a minute, and I was like, I'll buy it later. And I didn't.
Again, you're holding on me on Pac-Man merch, Ian. I don't know. I didn't know about this till I think last week someone told me about it.
I wanted to get one for Vonnie, but I was looking at it, and one, it doesn't look comfortable to hold.
Well, yeah, it's a fucking Slurpee.
I know. Two, it looks like it's just, and this is weird of me, but it's on a color LCD, and I don't think those color LCDs, those little ones, ever look particularly good. They're usually kind of smeary.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
kind of cheap.
And I got Vonnie the chicken nugget one, and the chicken nugget one is cool. The chicken nugget one was, I think, something, they integrated it into the chicken nugget shape better, where this looks like a Slurpee cup that they cut the back off of and stuck some controls on. However, apparently the Slurpee itself changes color, which was one of the things that,
I missed that,
got me close to, I was really on the edge about this.
Like remember that glowing Pac-Man I had?
Yeah, I think it does that.
Where it has an LED to change the color inside?
I think.
See, that's a good idea. Okay, now you're selling me. Because now it's a display item.
Yeah. So, anyway.
This is $30.
It's $30.
1.8-inch screen. What a weird crossover, Tetris and Slurpee. I never thought I'd live to see the day. And then they're doing some sort of contest where, they're going to do customers across the U.S. who purchase participating products via 7 rewards. I guess they have an app. Speed rewards or 7 now will have a chance to win one of 20,000 limited edition handhelds. So they're going to give away 20,000 more on top of the ones they sold.
Yeah.
Why don't they just sell more? But okay. They're going to give away 20,000. Visit 711.com for more information on how to win.
Honestly, my guess is 20,000 more that you can win. That's a lot to give away, but it's interesting because it partially avoids bots and scalpers by doing it that way, because not one person can't buy them all up.
Oh no, that's how they're going to give away.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So one person can't buy them all up.
They're not going to give away 20. They mean they produced 20,000, or you can win one of 20,000.
No, you can win one of 20,000.
Okay, so they made 20,000. Okay,
they're giving away 20. No, they're giving away 20,000 to.
That's not how I read it. I said,
sorry, we've sold out. If you missed the chance to buy one, customers across the U.S.
will have a chance to win
one of 20,000 limited edition. Each customer would have a chance to win one.
I don't know if I'm reading that.
Well,
correctly.
How else would you say it? We'll have a chance to win 20,000 limit.
I mean, you're going to win one out of 20,000 we produce. That's how I'm now reading it.
Each customer can win one out of. There's 20,000 to give away.
Oh, read it as we made 20,000, we sold some. You're going to be able to win one of the 20,000 we produced. That's how I'm reading it.
Oh,
That's I gotta go to the official website.
Either way, here's my guess as to what's going to happen. At the conventions over this summer, they're going to be very, very expensive. And then 2 months later, like with the McDonald's ones, scalpers are going to realize, no, people don't want to pay stupid amounts for this, and they're going to have to let them go for the same amount.
Do you think scalpers got in on this thinking that people want a Slurpee Tetris handheld?
I think anything that involves a playable video game that is unique is something that people are going to try to scalp.
It does not look like you want to hold this. I'm looking at the picture of the lady, and her hands are like this, and yeah, it does not look nice. It has 2 buttons. It looks like a D-pad on it.
It's literally why I did not buy it. The number one, the form factor just looked dumb.
It's almost so dumb it's brilliant, or it's just dumb. It's
So I guess my thing is the chicken nugget one I thought was interestingly designed. This one just feels lazy. It's like, here's a plastic Slurpee, chop the back off, stick the controls.
I see what you're saying.
You know? So that's why I wasn't 100% sold. But if I can find one for cheap enough, I'll probably pick it up.
If you can find them for $30-$50, be like,
if I can find one, I would have paid the 30. I'd pay the 30.
All right, finally, there's a new style arcade game coming out. It's been a minute. So this I got this off of Twitter. I will never say X ever. Even in the book, I refer to it as Twitter.
Raw Thrills, the company Eugene Jarvis heads up, that has basically done or put out all of the modern arcade games from. I think they did the Rampage game, the Turtles game, that finally got a console release. They did the Cruisin'. They did Cruisin' Blast. Anyways, they do all of those. They do the big fucking Pac-Man and the Galaga where you shoot them with the guns. They're putting out they're in all the ads, they basically say it's new NBA Jam without saying it's NBA Jam because they can't.
It's 3-on-3.
3-on-3, which is different. But I think not Hang Time, Showtime did that. That was the 3D one. Yes. Showtime did
Blast and basically the Midway series. I mixed thoughts on 3-on-3. The court's still big enough you can do it, but I don't know, something about 2-on-2 that I think is so special and unique. It's almost like there's a simplified strategy to 2-on-2 that I like,
and I think that's I like that as well. I think that's why they did 3-on-3 though. They want there to be more strategy to it, which I'll play it. I mean, I'll definitely play it. A fucking arcade basketball, a new arcade basketball game. 3-on-3 would not have been my preferred choice. I'm not trying to shit on it because I know some people out there are probably very excited by that.
Well, 3-on-3 is fine, but unless the arcade game has 6 players on it, then to me it's sort of like
it does.
It is 6.
That's what I saw.
If you can get 6 people on the arcade, I can't see in the picture. It's so little. I see 4 joysticks. I see blue, red, green, and yellow joysticks.
Maybe you're right. Let me check.
So if it's 4 players and 3-on-3, I think you lost.
Yeah, no, that would actually immediately lose me.
You lose the plot. Because then what do you do?
I don't want the computer player
there. You have 2 CPUs that are running around. That's stupid. I'm sorry. Like there's a reason why 2-on-2 works so well with this. So there you go. You have 120 different players. It looks, the last time we had NBA Jam was 2013 was the last edition. They did the tournament edition of the new one on Xbox.
Yeah, and that was 2-on-2.
It was 2-on-2. I played that one. It was 2013, I believe. So it's been over 10 years.
Yeah, cabinet supports up to 4 players.
See, Ian? See?
I wouldn't mind, if playing it, just like I would play someone 1-on-1 in Jam, I would play, 4 players on Jam, or on this with someone, but to completely eliminate the ability to do a full humans versus humans game. What if they're going to link the fucking cabinets? I wonder if that's something that could be done. They would probably announce it here.
So it has Tim Kitzrow, the voice of the NBA Jams, coming back. Comes to the convention still. I never spoke to the man before, but we've crossed paths. And then it's going to be $15,000 if you're an arcade operator. Holy shit, $15,000. It's not a cheap business to get into.
No, it's not.
Coming to your Dave and Buster's soon, I guess.
I think the Halo machine is like
shooter one.
Yeah, I think that's like $20,000.
Is that 2 machine guns? The Halo one?
To sit down, 2 machine guns, big bassy sound system. But we have
$20,000.
We have one, and my buddy told me how much it was, and I can't remember exactly how much he paid for it, but I think it was about $20,000.
Wow.
I know the Mario Karts are not cheap.
Oh, then, yeah, I can't picture those being cheap.
And I mean, this cabinet looks kind of neat. Like it's got a fucking LED ticker at the top, which is pretty cool.
And
but
LEDs change your team color. That's cool.
Like it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it, but I'm less sold on it. Yeah, with it being only 4 players.
Sure.